William Guile. One of the greatest martial artists in the world travels the global tournament circuit, using it to conceal his top-secret mission as leader of an elite group of international crime fighters known only by their code name, Street Fighters. The heroic man-beast, Blanca, hard-kicking fighting machine, Chun-Li. And the team of the most amazing warriors ever seen have joined.
Wait, who's that?
Oh, that's Cammy. She wasn't introduced until Street Fighter II, The New Challengers.
This is confusing. How many Street Fighter 2 games are there?
I don't know. This is the Barcode Battler Museum, not Noah's Arcade. Greetings, Barcode Battler fans, and welcome to my overview of the Street Fighter 2 cards for the Barcode Battler 2. These cards have only been on our radar for the past year or two, so we knew very little about them until quite recently. Questions from both the Street Fighter and Barcode Battler fan communities are about to be answered, so without any further... I need another word for delay.
Have you used dawdling before? I haven't been keeping track.
I'll go back over the old videos later. So, without any further dawdling, let's have a look at these cards in depth. Based on the Turbo edition of the Street Fighter II series, these particular cards came to us in a set of 200, in what has to be the most bog-standard packaging we've seen so far. Only two sides of this otherwise plain white box have any text or art on them, and even that's in a monotone black colour scheme. Practically identical, apart from the last line or two, the text common to both sides translates as Prizes for commercial game machines. Street Fighter 2 Barcode Battler compatible cards. Capcom 1991-1992. The address of the publisher, Sunwise Co. Limited, then follows. One side has, in English, Licensed by Epoch Co. Limited, made in Japan. Accompanied by a silver sticker featuring the face of Rockman, known as Mega Man in the US, the Japanese text here simply reads, Capcom E, copyright license. In its place on the other side are the words, all 100 types, 200 pieces. On a slight tangent, we've spotted a few other boxes in this style. Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Triforce of the Gods, and Kunio-kun Football also received boxes in this style. Certainly, in the case of the Nintendo cards, these were alternative boxes which included holographic versions of some of the cards in their respective sets. The Kunio-kun Football set appears to have rare holographic cards as standard among the non-holographic cards, as does this Street Fighter II set, so the presence of shiny material may well have been a commonality among these special boxes. Back to the Street Fighter II set specifically, there's no instructions and no story, so in a first for the licensed cards we've explored on this channel, we'll have to assume they use the same story as in the arcades.
Join forces with Guile to combat the criminal empire of Shadaloo.
No, not that. Vega, the leader of the evil organization known as Shadaloo, has organized a worldwide tournament to find the best fighters to join his cause. Now you may be wondering why I said Vega and not M. Bison.
Hi, Dad.
This is due to a trio of characters who were renamed when Street Fighter II was localized for American players. First up, we have the heavyweight boxer, M. Bison,
Hi, Dad.
who starred in M. Bison's Punch-Out on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Not really. As you might know, the NES edition of Punch-Out featured the licensed image of Mike Tyson, a real-life heavyweight boxer who would go on to have something of a controversial future. Not wanting to incur legal problems, Capcom gave him the name Balrog. Speaking of which, Balrog was the name given to the clawed Spanish bullfighter character in the original Japanese release. Known as Vega in the worldwide release, he ended up with that name because the localization team didn't think Vega was a threatening sounding name for the final boss. Lastly, but certainly not to be underestimated, we have Vega. In his red military uniform, he looks very imposing and has ambitions for world conquest.
Of course!
He also looks nothing like Mike Tyson, which is why the localization team were happy to bestow upon him the name of M. Bison.
Hi, Dad.
Now that all that's cleared up, I'll be using the Japanese names for these three for the rest of the video, as these are the names printed on their cards. Unlike Nintendo's licensed cards, there's no option for using a dice.
No! You must say die!
Die, dice, d6, whatever you want to call it, we're not using it in this game.
Silence! I killed you!
Ganon, go to Morshu and buy a Barcode Battler if you want to play with these cards.
King, bye!
Now, where were we? Oh yes, with your Barcode Battler 2 in C0 mode, take on a second player by each choosing a fighter card. There are 88 to choose from, though not all are equally distributed among the playable cast. With 8 cards each, we have Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and Guile. Dalsim, Blanka, E. Honda, Zangief, M. Bison.
This is the 5th time now. Is it really that funny?
Stop whining. This is what they subscribe for. Where were we? Balrog, Sagat, and Vega each get 7 cards for the players to choose from. Each fighter card represents a single attack, the names of which align with those from Street Fighter II Turbo. In a change from every other card set we've looked at so far, the artwork side of each card features no superimposed text whatsoever. A handful of the cards have a holographic look to them, one for each fighter, though none of the items are holographic. All of the text can be found on the other side, which, like the exterior of the box, features black text and line art on a white background. A chibi version of the fighter can be found to the top right of the card, with the name of the technique and its description below and to the left. To the right of that are their stats, featuring such details as their height, weight, date of birth, and blood type. In case you weren't aware, in Japan, a person's blood type is considered as interesting as a zodiac sign is in the West. Upon choosing a fighter card, you'll be effectively tied into a single move, be it a Hadouken, spinning bird kick, sonic boom, or any of the various other attacks available. As there are 200 cards in this set, there are 2 of each attack available, so if both players wanted to use the Psycho Crusher at the same time, even that's a possibility. Once each player has chosen a fighter, there are also items which may be selected. There are 12 on offer, 4 each of the weapon, protector, and power varieties. Among the weapons on offer are a car, a wooden barrel, a wooden crate, and a metal drum. The protectors include a sign with 4 kanji symbols, which, if DeepL Translate is to be believed, give the longest English language card name we've ever seen.
As fast as the wind, as quiet as the forest, as daring as fire, and immovable as the mountain.
There's also a wooden barrel, a wooden crate, and a metal drum. Finally, there are the power cards, which feature a Hanuman statue, a wooden barrel, a wooden crate, and a metal drum. And, if you're thinking 3 of those items each appeared 3 times, that caught us out at first too. While the art on each of the wooden barrel, wooden crate, and metal drum cards is identical within each of their respective object types, their barcode data and effects vary. It must be the game designer's way of adding some unpredictability to the gameplay. If your opponent sees you draw the car, for example, they know you're going to boost your strike power. But if you pull out an oil drum, who knows what stat you might improve? With your chosen attack and item in hand, it's now time to enter C0 mode. First, turn on the Barcode Battler 2. Then press the select button until C0 is displayed, then press the set button. Player 1 scans in their fighter card, followed by Player 2. Item cards then follow in the same order. The Barcode Battler 2 will now select a player to go first, as indicated by the row of LEDs below the LCD screen. Player 1's stats and controls can be found on the left-hand side of the device, with Player 2's to the right. Unlike many of the other Barcode Battler 2 card sets, the Street Fighter 2 card set lacks Wizard and Magic Point cards. This removes the need to remember the effects for each of the spells, as they're not available in this game. Similarly, all of the fighter cards have ineffective ability flag values, being set either to 0 or somewhere in the range of 46 to 64. Items have various effects. For example, some will cause opponents to lose 30% from various stats, or double the amount of health recovered from the use of herbs. With your battle in progress, the LEDs at the bottom of the handheld indicate which player should attack next. You have a few options when it's your turn. The power button allows the player to heal, at the cost of 1 herb point. The battle button starts an attack. By default, there's a 20% chance this won't connect, but this is also true for your opponent. The select button opens the magic and herb screen, which defaults to herbs in the absence of wizards. Press the select button to choose from 1, 2, or 3 herb points, then press set to apply the selection. 1 heals a little lost health, 2 a moderate amount, and 3 the most. The round is over when either combatant's health points are reduced to 0. The fighter cards included in this set cannot be used as heroes in C1 or C2 mode, but can be fought in C2 mode as enemies. If you have a suitable passcode, you could pit Link and Yoshi against M. Bison,
Bye, Dad.
who on this card is spamming jabs faster than a social justice warrior going after an anti-vaxxer.
We interrupt this exciting program to bring you this special announcement. Curious Video Game Machines, a compendium of rare and unusual consoles, computers, and coin-ops, is now available to pre-order. Curated by Lewis Packwood, this book delves into the history of some of gaming's most obscure hardware, such as the Intercon VC4000, the Galaxija, the Daewoo's MX-5, and many more, including one really strange machine that uses barcodes printed on cards for input. Full-colour images of every machine featured can be found inside. This book is a true one-of-a-kind, and it explores exotic gaming wonders from all over the world. Pre-order your copy on Amazon today. It'll make a great Christmas gift, if not for the nerd you love, then for the nerd in you. Only $25.76 in hardback, or $9.99 on Kindle. This video is not sponsored by Curious Video Game Machines.
For Super Nintendo users in the West, Street Fighter II was considered a strong reason to choose Nintendo over Sega. So you can imagine our surprise when we discovered the Barcode Battler 2 had a version of Street Fighter II before it ever came to the Mega Drive. Take that, 90s Sega fanboys! Wait, I'm a 90s Sega fanboy. If you're at all familiar with the Barcode Battler 2's editions of Super Mario World and The Legend of Zelda, Triforce of the Gods, you'll know they incorporated a dice mode, but there's none of that here. The Street Fighter 2 cards require a Barcode Battler 2 to be functional. While 7 to 8 technique cards for each fighter may sound like it offers some depth, the Barcode Battler 2's gameplay effectively locks each player into spamming a single move for the whole round. Although you do get some variety and unpredictability from the use of items. Sadly, the lack of wizards also robs this game of one of the main selling features of the Barcode Battler 2 over its predecessor. Disappointments out of the way, the card art is very detailed, and while hand-drawn, quite faithful to what you'd find in versions of this game which feature graphics. The lack of superimposed text also makes these cards stand out among the crowds of other cards released for the Barcode Battler product line, and the chibi-style artwork on the back is quite amusing. By Barcode Battler 2 standards, this isn't the most compelling of card sets, but it looks great and is a must-have for both Barcode Battler and Street Fighter collector completionists alike. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the Street Fighter 2 cards for the Barcode Battler 2. All these details and more can be found on the Barcode Battler Museum's Street Fighter 2 page, link in the description. If you found this video to be informative, please drop a like or a comment. Your feedback is invaluable. A huge thank you to all our subscribers. If you're not yet subscribed and would like to see more from this channel, please consider subbing and ring the bell to be notified when our next video drops. For anyone considering supporting the Barcode Battler Museum financially, we have a Patreon account. Details are in the description, but before you click away, here's a word from renowned gaming YouTuber and expert on everything game related, Top Hat Gaming Man. Mr. Gaming Man?
We didn't get his response.
Alright then, how about Lady Decade? She likes covering obscure gaming releases.
Nothing from her either.
Okay then. Tennings, he makes videos about old games nobody likes.
Let me check. Nope.
Octavius King? She rips on dull, repetitive games while putting a humorous spin on things.
Nada.
Cadicarus! I bet he'd be up for a funny video about the stripy world of barcode games.
I know what the problem is. The invitations were never sent.
Honestly, I gave you one job.
I was on holiday, so I asked Horace to send them.
Oh yeah, your trip to the Grand Canyon. How was it?
Echoey.
Alright then, where's Horace?
Ooh, yes. Oh, yes. So, this is where you've been hiding? Minnie, baby, it's not what it looks like. I should have known. It's over between us. So, you must be Horace. I've met Charles. He knows how to treat a woman. Come on, darling. The taxi's waiting. Minnie, you can't go out with him. He's a cheater. I don't know what I ever saw in that racist horse.
We need to decide who to send round to convince everyone to sign up.
We can't send anyone from the Street Fighter gang. They'll beat the living daylights out of them.
Well, who's the least intimidating?
We're on.
Oh, right. Patreon supporters will receive access to our translated manuals a whole month before the rest of the world. So what are you waiting for? It's also the only legitimate way of accessing our Super Barcode Wars Dragon Ball Z manual translation. Sign up to our new Wizard tier and you'll also have the opportunity to be a part of our future videos. Our next video will cover the Conveni Wars Seiden 2 card set, with the following video focusing on the Super V Chapter 1 cards. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time.
Licensed by Epoch Co. Limited, made in Japan. This is really interesting.